Hey guys, it is Rachel Feldman. How are you doing? It is freaking a brand new year. With that being said, maybe we know each other. If we do, drop who you are, how I know you. If we don't know each other, well, hop on over to rachelafeldman.com, grab some free courses, free stuff, or of course, go below and you can click on our replay page, which does have a few behind the scenes of what many coaches do with our programs. But enough about me. For today's training, I want to go and talk about pre-marketing. I want to, as I was thinking about this month and how many of you are either brand new coaches or you're in the growing and scale phase, you may be sitting there saying, okay, so I have a plan in my head and a little of it shifted because I've had to pivot my business. You may also be saying, I have this launch plan and it's pretty concrete, but I want it to be better. Or you may be saying, I have no freaking idea what I'm doing. So I thought, why not just break it down? In today's training, we're going to cover why is it important to know the promise. Of course, everyone says this, know the promise of your programs. I want to give you just a little really tangible few questions to ask yourself. And of course, declare that you're going to do it today. I'm a huge goal-getter kind of oriented person. And one thing that I've known to be extremely important for success is to actually do that work. So the second part is that I'm going to show you in real time how back when I had Rachel's Wellness with very limited time, that meant I had 2 kids under the age of 4 when I started my business. I grew my list to 7,000 organically. And I had to, of course, build my business in about an hour and a half in the morning. And I was seeing clients, pretty much at night. So when I say I'm the pro at figuring out how to make it happen, that's just a little about moi. So I really do get what it's like to be in your shoes. All right, for a second, you're just going to see this. This is a course that I created back in the day. I think I launched it in 2016 or 17, and it's all about launching. One of the biggest areas that coaches miss is really getting to know this offer. I know a lot of coaches come to us, or doctors or chiropractors or nurse practitioners, and they say, I don't have the time to create a program. I don't have the time to create the on-demand webinar, or I don't have time to create consistent workshops, but I know I need to have this visibility. Whether you're leading them to the one-on-one, or you're leading them to a membership, or you're building out your Facebook group, you're still always launching. So the more that you understand this, it's not just applying to your signature offer. It's to a challenge. It's to an opt-in freebie, which is for list building. It can really save you a lot of time when you start asking these questions. What is my offer? What does it do for my ideal client? Why would they need it? Why would they spend time trusting you with an email where they're already smart about marketing? They know that they're going to be sold to. I want to help you not have people just either unsubscribe because they're not really clear about what you do, or have you waste time creating content, putting it out there and thinking you're doing everything right. So really declare. You can always change it, declare and say, this is my core offer that I'm launching for either January or February, or your offers that you're launching in your one-on-one. Everyone has a different style of business. Where we come in is that a lot of you don't have that time to create the offer, let alone get it designed, let alone create a workshop. I was talking to 2 doctors the other day, and their time for creating one workshop is 5 hours. So they are looking at the 12-month kids membership because that's where they specialize. Pediatrics, moms, and that's, of course, their core worry. Are my kids going to be healthy? What do I need to do for my kids? So What does your freebie, your program solve? What does your challenge, your webinar, if you're doing a webinar to a program, if you're doing a workshop, or a series of lives, this is where the pre-marketing is really where you're stepping into your ideal client's shoes. You're being a heart-based marketer, really thinking about your ideal client and their problems. What does it do? What problem or issue does it solve? The freebie, like I was consulting with a few people today on what to buy, the freebie is a mini solution. If you know these big 3 problems, these major problems that you solve, guess what? Those are your 3 freebies. And most often, if you know what your signature program is going to be, well, then it would be safe to say that a workshop that we have included in that program is either going to be a great lead into the program for visibility, or that you're going to find one that really polarizes down with your niche, which you might be getting even more specific. And don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how to pick apart one of our programs so that you can compartmentalize the very tasks that you need to do, so you don't go, this is so hard, I just have to quit. So what good can it bring to those who buy it? Of course, we're talking about a core program, but I want you to expand past and think the whole experience of this person in this vast world of digital marketing. Even if you're networking with people, it's a vast world. What's going to make this person stop and say, wow, I'm really impressed by what this person's putting out there. Their content is really of value to me. And that's why consistency is key. But what happens? The most of us don't have time. Then we're not consistent. And I'm even, not that great at that when life gets busy. So I want us to all be realistic and also to have a really good plan, because your quarter 1 is setting you up for a healthy quarter 2. Quarter 2 allows you to have a thriving summer practice and not go into a massive dip when people start kicking off in May and June. So your list building, your clarity right now, I know you can do it. And that's why on the next question, why do customers need this offer? So really become the offer. And what makes it different from other coaches, from other offers, because you are different. And who really is your target audience? You know your niche, but tell me your ideal client avatar. This means their demographics. This means their age. This means the thing that they like. I want you to really envision this person. What does this dream client look like? What are their habits in their day? Where do they get stuck? This is in the fantasizing. Don't be scared about it. So now we're going to move in to this next, and then I'm going to show you, I know, a lot here, but I picked out the most important ones. So just bear with me. If I can't find it, guys, I'm going to just tell you. 10 ways to create the buzz. Right now, before you open cart, and I say this to everyone, build that story. Help your ideal client know why you are that person. So you want to really start building the buzz. And that's what pre-marketing is all about. So determine your focus on concentrating on your product. Make sure also that you're doing, is this the actual part? Maybe it's not, guys. I might have lied to you in that. But it's in my brain. So let me no, here it is. It's in my brain. The part of pre-marketing is not only, of course, editing your program, picking out a workshop, creating your visibility pre-marketing where you're setting the story. You're talking about these problems. You're talking about the symptoms. You're talking about the obstacles that people have. You're really becoming that program and that solution because you are. People don't make change without coaches. We all know what to do, but life gets busy. We get jacked and we need a coach. So when you have our products, instantly you can start your pre-marketing schedule, even in your head. You don't need to be like a marketer. I wasn't. I just sat there and thought about this person who didn't know me. What did they need to know about me to buy from me? That's brand trust. What did they need to hear on a consistent daily basis, which helped them to understand this program is the right thing for them? This workshop, my group, my social media channels, why should they subscribe to my YouTube? Why should they want to be friends with me? That's when you start to build not only brand, consistency, but you're building trust. And so when you are actually going into the folder, you're going to start taking pictures. You're going to take pictures of the recipes. You're going to make the recipes. So you're showing your ideal client unconsciously, okay, if she or he can do it, so can I. Then you get this one hallelujah in their brain. That's the psychology of your buyer. Each one of you, this comes with practice. Don't say, oh, I got off this live and Rach made it sound so easy. This was from years of practicing this and understanding what my ideal client needed to understand. But what did not take years is understanding the basics of human psychology. People don't just buy. People buy, and it doesn't take a long time, but people buy because you're showing them it is possible. And that's what's great about having the program there, being able to open it up, sneak peek, which is pre-marketing, be like, oh my God, I'm editing this program. That's social media day number 2. Oh my God, I can't wait to, deliver this program, which we start on this date. Or, oh wow, I can't wait for my one-on-one clients to have this experience. Look what it's like. There's no joke, like 100 other ways I could talk about in this live, and maybe we'll save that for another day if that's extremely, beneficial to you, because that will help in knowing where you need to focus your intentional energy. If you're not, and you're just trying to look at every roadmap, but you're not keeping it simple, thinking about psychology, behaviors of people, obstacles, and really being your own problem. Because for the majority of you, this was your pain. This was your ongoing struggle. But the moment you got into coaching, you thought about running this as a business, you deviated from thinking about where were the obstacles, what were the pain. And so it just feels overwhelming. And it also feels overwhelming because it's your business. So number 1, take pictures, make little videos. Even if you're an introvert, it's a great way to pull out your phone, my camera crew, pull out your phone and just show sneak peeks. It's also a really nice way if you're using your personal page. Nobody wants a constant feed of like, buy from me, buy from me. It's just not what Facebook is about. Facebook is about connection on a personal page and value connection on a Facebook business page. You can still, on your personal page, share your backstory. Share what happened, what life was like, what are the things that you use, your behind the scenes, your favorite products, because that is what builds brand awareness. People start to identify you as this expert. You don't just come out because you rock these. I love Facebook ads, guys, but I see just so many people who are like, oh, I did this one thing because I was told to do it, or I did an on-demand webinar because I was told to do it, but you haven't built up your story. And there's such a lack of confidence or even clarity. This is an old school approach. Share your program even on a live stream. They're like, hey guys, meet me in this group. I so love you and I'm so excited for this. Show people that behind the scenes and then download it and then upload it to, of course, YouTube if you, of course, want to be with the search engine optimization machine. If you, of course, want it on Vimeo because you want to keep it more private in a community, totally understand. There's so many different platforms, guys, to do screen sharing or live streaming. Choose one, stick with it, and don't deviate. There's not this one perfect platform. It's not this one perfect funnel builder. It's not this one perfect anything. It's us really doing the pre-marketing. Have your social media accounts. If you're doing Facebook ads, there's all these different things that, of course, we can get into. But what we're going to do right now is unpack it. I know. Messy download folder, Rach, right? Messy. But why am I seeing this view? Maybe I should put my glasses on. If you're listening to this at a later date, I literally am putting on my glasses because I'm pretty blind. So we're going to take this out of side view. Okay. I hate having little things on the side. It just deviates from the focus. And I'm all about like solo focus, laser focus. So let's look at the business. Don't get overwhelmed looking at every different folder. Just know what you need to start with. So you're going to start with your pre-marketing emails. For those of you who don't know how much it costs to have a copywriter write, I would say maybe these days you could get something for like $675. Usually the going is like $100 an email. What's nice about this is if you are working with a copywriter, they're just personalizing this. If you're a person like myself where video is a better medium, clearly I don't have a problem talking. But also if you work with specific niches that it takes a little more connecting the dots. Those niches could be autoimmune, Lyme, mold, hormones, gut, kids, either spectrum, ADD, ADHD, autism. There's usually like these multifaceted connecting of the dots. We all know that. There can be, of course, weight loss can have these different facets like unexplained weight gain. But I would say that there is some niches that maybe you don't have to be as wordy or explain as much to demystify so many different messages that are being provided from a number of different sources. I don't think we need to name them. I'm talking to you guys. You may want to look at this as a time saver and say, if you do better as a video, drop the video in there. Explain what this 30-day gut fix is about. You could even copy and paste information in the program. And I'm just going to show you quickly because I don't want to make this a 45-minute tutorial, which I have a tendency to do. These are all done. But make sure that you carve time to only solo focus to do one task at a time. If not, you're going to feel overwhelmed. What's great is in the back when you buy, there is a launch manual and a 30-day launch calendar, step by step, that was written by an online business manager. And those who follow it have a really easy time. I know it can feel overwhelming, but unless you hire a team or a assistant or a virtual assistant, which means somebody is located in the online space and they don't live near you, but this is their expertise. Just get comfortable with really having to be extremely disciplined. So this would be day one. And I would also look at these emails and start to get some ideas on what I can, of course, use in the emails to personalize my own stories, stories where I've helped somebody. If I didn't have clients, of course, it's going to be family and friends, or it's going to be my own family. That's still a testimonial, guys. So I'm going to dedicate one day to do that. I'm also going to, of course, look at either my PowerPoints, if I'm doing a workshop, or if I'm planning and saying, it would make sense. Like common sense would be that if I'm launching and if I have a program start date of February 1st, so that's 30 days away, it would make sense that I'm going to do a workshop every week to help my ideal client understand I'm the only game in town for them, for that person who fits with my vibe, who identifies with my personality, enjoys the value that I give, and really sees the benefit in how I compartmentalize health issues and how I put these different maps together on what could possibly be happening. I want to showcase that also in my pre-marketing. So we talked about social media post. I'm going to go in and say, is there anything in the social media post that I could use for a live. Hear me out on this one. You could do a video. You could do a video that covers just a few of these things, one topic a day. Now you might say, well, my client knows this. They know it, but do they really know it? Are they really doing the things that they really need to do? Most often the answer is no. So this pre-marketing, this creates the buzz, not only around you, but you're just hitting them with value. You're like, guys, you know what? Here's turmeric. You could take one day of copying and pasting or using the freebie to copy and paste and make a video. How do you use turmeric in your life? How do you make golden milk? It's really shocking for us as coaches that that's not like standard information, but it's not, unless you are working with people like myself or people that are, geeking out on this information all day and they are obsessive researchers. So here's information that I would go through. I would decide, that week, if I'm doing a live or a workshop, my whole week, I'm going to be value, talking, and then leading them to either a group or leading them to a Zoom. You don't even need a platform. You don't even need an on-demand webinar. You can if you want. And if you're doing it, awesome. Here's some extra simple strategies on the basics so that the other strategies that you're using actually work. Is that when you sit there and you actually plan it and you talk about why should you be coming to this workshop, and you add in maybe some recipes, you add in some ways that you're handling boosting your immune. You drop in, I just got product number 1, product 2, product 3, product 4, product 5. Many of you are also network marketers. Like, you really start giving people what? The S, the solution to their pain. You just spark their second aha, like, amen. They just sat there in their subconscious was like, okay, interesting. This person's like, for the second time, hit me with value. So I'm going to make a choice, even in just the first time I download the program, what I need to pull out. I'm not going to get caught up in, oh my God, I got to change every Canva. If you want to do that, that's fine. I like to reverse engineer. I like to actually decide what's the intention, who's this for, what am I going to talk about, what experiences in my life can really help my ideal client build trust with me. Know that I'm this person that really gets it. Like, I've been to hell and back. So I'm going to take time to let myself be creative. We can't be creative and be frantic. But here's the good news. As I said, 1 hour on one day allows you to go through 2 PowerPoints. Maybe you're like, I really love this one. You're like, no problem. This is the PowerPoint, the webinar that's going to lead them to my gut program. Or this is the master class that I'm doing because I need to get 30 discovery calls this month because I'm leading them to this program as my starter program. And I'm leading them to 6 month, repair your period, because that's your process, gut, hormones. For other people, it's like gut mindset. It can be anything, which is why I think I say in every video, it's endless possibilities. So you're going to go through the same thing. Is this fit better for what I need to get across? How much time am I going to edit it? And guess what? You're going to have to do it. Any high successful, high performance person, which you are. You want this. Everyone's why is different, but you want this because you want to invoke change. And so you're going to sit there and say, you know what? How long would it take me to add in a few slides and to change the pictures? And if you really are stinky at tech, just have the moment where you give yourself compassion, forgiveness, and know you're going to let go of perfection. So I'm going to say, you know what, for a closing webinar or workshop, but like my heavy hitter workshop that leads to the open cart, that's my baby. For some of you, it could, of course, be like the 5-day gut challenge or the 5-day toxin-free challenge, whatever is that big pain point leading. It's all different kind of modalities. But for today's training, we are getting focused on how simple it is to do. And then we're going to focus on the client guide, and we're going to just rip through a program because all of our programs have these elements. I'm not even going to look at the sales page yet because I want to stay solo focused and thinking about the intention. I don't want to go into writing. One thing that I learned, glasses have some schmutz on it. I think it's a Yiddish word for like dirt. Schmutz, like, yeah, something gross. One thing I learned long time ago is I have to be in a certain mode. So if I know I'm going to be in a writing mode, I'm going to look at those 6 emails so that I can start my processing. I worked with all my clients on doing the same strategy and it works. You have to look at it to get yourself thinking about how you're going to position it. The programs work. I mean, the programs, I see people who make $2,000, $5,000, 10, 25, 30, 50, consistently a month. Anything's possible, but it's only possible when we really slow down our overwhelm and we stop needing to recreate the wheel. And that's where our content comes in. So I've also learned that those who are extremely successful make sure that on the writing days, you're just writing. That's the sales page and the pre-marketing because you're in that writing editing mode. In the day that you want to really be planning it, only stay in that planning phase. Really marinate on the examples that I gave. And then you're going to, of course, write for the next, 1 week. What do I need to talk about every day? That's going to lead them to this amazing program. And of course, you might even be using those 2 opt-in freebies. You might even have a more specific niche and you're like, you know what? I want one that is more gut specific on hormones or gut and sugar, or I'm really testing out these different problems. And so you're going to do like 3 workshops, or maybe you're reaching out to podcasts. And so you're saying, hey, I would love to come on your podcast. In turn, I can talk about this subject and I can also give a free gift. That's where our content comes in. Even for those of you who are doing your own podcast, think about the conversion. When you have a download, that's a no-brainer. That's a list builder right onto your podcast. So if you guys are moving into the audio or you're already doing this, why not make it really work? Why not learn how to make your work really work for you? I'm about to end this, but I want to show you my last part. And this is something that is another way to do pre-marketing. You're gonna actually print this out. So you're going to print out the gut calendar. You're going to show your ideal client what you do in your life. There's no fancy tricks for that. You don't even need like the best copywriter because you are the person who's living this. Great Facebook ads, great copywriters, they all can run their jam when you show up and really say, oh yeah, this is what I do each day, because you are what people buy. People buy people, not products. So you're gonna print this out and you're gonna show it. You're gonna be like, hey guys, oh my God, I have my calendar. I have been struggling insert issue. I am working on this program. Man, it's getting me back into the basics. And if you're introverted, you have to figure out how you're networking to, of course, build your visibility or do pre-recorded videos, because that's what's so nice about doing pre-recorded videos. And you can upload it on YouTube. You can upload on IGTV. You can do a blog with a video on LinkedIn, Facebook business page, and newsflash, Google yourself. So something I just did a module for my membership on this is Google yourself. What comes up in the first Google research? LinkedIn, Facebook business page. Doesn't mean you need to be rocking every platform, but think about how people search. You don't have to be everywhere. You need to be thinking like your ideal client. What are their behaviors? Where are they searching when they have a problem? What comes up first in the search? This is how heart-based marketers or people with no moolah in the beginning or not a lot of money to invest in, I would call it digital boosters, social media ads and stuff like that. This is how we learn. This is how I did it. Then you're going to go through this. You're going to go through the guide and you're going to break down each segment. Pre-marketing, and we'll close with this. Pre-marketing is showcasing that program. There are a lot of course, different specifics, and I could get into that on beta testing and finding out your ideal client, testing with freebies, all the things that I did. I beta tested more with friends individually. It's just my style of coaching. I'm a real one-on-one kind of person. I do love groups, but I like to work with somebody one-on-one. And so I beta tested with people who fit my ideal client. And I did go into groups and find those different people so they weren't just my friends. We can go in all those different directions because I've done it all by myself as a solo entrepreneur. What I hope you got out of this and is that it's not as complicated. There's a lot of moving parts, takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of perseverance. It's building a business. And what I hope you realized is that it's not as difficult, but you have to be disciplined in only focusing on one thing. I highly suggest, and I will close with this, and you guys should get, penny for every time I say that, because I think I say that about 5 times in a video, is I got a old school egg timer and I put that on my desk and I started seeing how often I felt overwhelmed. And the moment I found myself going to Facebook and I love Facebook. I live on Facebook. I built my business on Facebook. But every time that I started putting something off, or I would be like, oh my God, my old friend. Oh my God, my friends from Penn Charter. Oh my friends select. I hit that timer. So I started to be honest with myself on how overwhelmed I was. I started to have the willingness to be honest about my ego and my fear of not getting hired and my fear of failure. So we can go over every piece of this, but you also have to be honest about your own behaviors. Many of us thought we would come right out of school, whatever it is, whatever business, whatever niche. I mean, when I say whatever business, chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, functional medicine practitioners, we all thought, oh, someone's just going to pay me. Of course, because we all have that confidence because most of us fixed ourselves, or we got ourselves to the point of actually functioning when nobody could figure it out. Am I correct? But the problem is that people buy because they trust. And if you really think about your ideal client, and I notice my subconscious, my behaviors all the time when I'm either pushing off something to overwhelm, or I'm realizing, wow, I'm hesitant to hire this person for this amount of money because I'm so jaded from my past experiences. Jaded from having ulcerative colitis, jaded from the diagnosis after diagnosis, just jaded. Stop thinking it's just about you. That's the best advice that I can give you. It's given to me in year 2 when I wanted to quit. It's this isn't about you. It's about you doing the job of explaining and connecting the dots to your ideal client that is bombarded over and over by this information left and right. So take some time. It doesn't take a lot, 48 hours. If I can birth naturally twice and be out of the hospital in 48 hours flat, and the next day be taking a shower in the morning, anything is possible. So it doesn't take a lot. It just takes discipline. It just takes discipline to download, to go into the back if you have our programs, go into the back and download that calendar. If you're brand new and you don't even know who the heck I am, go over and listen to my podcast at rachelafeldman.com. If you really don't know who the heck we are, go and grab one of our free courses or read, testimonials that have come from people. I can tell you this, there's no point sitting in overwhelm and thinking it's going to be different. Intentional action. We do have a savings code, especially during, these times. So all you have to do is go to yourhealthcoachbiz.com. If you're confused on where to start, I would say just like today, get clear on what you want to be known for. We all have about 25 different niches that we could dip our toe into, but when you went to school, you knew what you wanted to do. You just got a little confused throughout the process. So really sit there and say, what do I want to be known for? And start with even this process today of, how am I going to make this happen? Don't sit in, I don't know how to do this. That's victimhood. It's just none of us know how to do something. Most of us have had to figure it out. Sit there, get the program, sit with your loved one, a peer, anybody, map that out. Let me just see if there's any questions. One task at a time. You got that's my middle name. Hey, Tiffany. Thanks for the love, guys. Happy New Year. All right. With that said, guys, I'm going to peace out and hit us with any questions. Just remember, we are human on the other side. I am not a robot. I wish I could be, but I am typically the one who's answering the health coach questions of programs. So just patience. I'm trying to come in with a new level of self-care for my adrenals, which constitutionally have always been low per my experience with iridology. So with a lot of love to all of you, and I will see you guys later. Have a beautiful one. Bye, guys.